Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow, and perhaps even check out our Patreon. Today I'm here to have a go with this, the world's longest portable model railway. And to say that I'm excited is, well, an understatement.
This is Making Tracks, a 208 by 14 foot long super layout modelling part of the West Coast Main Line. Many of you will have heard of Making Tracks because it's been in the headlines for quite some time. Way back in 2021 it was launched in Chester Cathedral and was 64 foot long, which is a pretty acceptable size for a large layout. But the team weren't fully satisfied with that, and over the years Making Tracks 2 and 3 happened until last year, where the three were combined to build one massive layout at the Great Electric Train Show, which measured some 152 foot long. But that wasn't enough for a record, and so for this show, Model World Live, a new section has been completed and added to the layout, so that it represents the West Coast Main Line between Hill Morton Junction in Rugby, Kilsby Tunnel, Billsworth, Milton Keynes Central Station, Tring Cutting, North Church Tunnel, Watford Tunnel, Watford Junction Station, Bushley Viaduct, Bushley Station, and finally Carpenter's Park Bridge. It is a 4-track main line throughout, apart from some of the stations where there's more lines. It is absolutely massive. And in order to be a world record attempt, it is not only one of the physically largest, but it has a grand total of 694.9 metres or 2,279 feet of usable track. Which is, frankly, when you think about it, utterly ridiculous. Awesome, but just mad. And I know what you're thinking. How does one actually know this is the longest? What do you measure and how?
So it's all the tracks have been measured. It's because it's got to be a portable railway, so you've got to have a fiddle yard, so that's all of that's measured.
Yes. Do you want to know how it's done?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay. So what we've done is 3D printed a little flapping thing here, which is attached to the axle, and then every time it goes past the plastic, it clicks.
Yep.
Here?
Yeah.
Like that. So when it's on the track, so every tick represents one revolution of the wheel. So if we can count the number of ticks multiplied by the circumference, that's your measurement. So what we do is put a microphone on the truck, it records the clicks as it's going along, and then we put that sound file into some sonic analysis software. We can draw some thresholds to get rid of all the background noise, and then we can see the peaks, and we count the amplitude clicks at the top. And then that number of clicks times the circumference of the wheel is the distance. And for the world record, we have to measure each line 3 times. We then have to do a calibration run over 5 metres to prove that nothing's happened to the clicker and it hasn't degraded over time. We then do the next line and the next line and the next line. So we started at 6 o'clock on Friday. We got to midnight. The power went out at midnight. We spent 2 hours trying to get the power back. It was 2 a.m. We gave up, came back at 6:30 the following morning, had 3 hours sleep. We then did the final 2 lines. We'd sent all the detail to Guinness Thursday night, 2 a.m, just to make sure they were happy. They came back at 7:30 this morning, the following morning, saying, yep, we're okay with that. Did the following 2 lines, sent that off to Guinness. Guinness then made a decision that they would come. So the adjudicator arrived at midday yesterday. We had to prove to him then the calibration, did a calibration run, and then we had to do an entire run round with the wagon, with everybody watching, and then again do the analysis of it, prove to him that the distance is correct, that what the previously said is right, and we got challenged on things like should the fiddle yard be in it. It's a portable model railway, so it does. He checks that it's a scale model, that it's done to professional standards. So it's not just about measuring the track, it's all about is it a decent model railway? Is it one cohesive model railway, not just lots of modules?
Not like what we did with a load of modules,
Yeah. It has to be done by one group of people, and thankfully he awarded us a world record. So these were the locos that pulled this truck around.
Oh, so they are the world record locos?
They're the world record locos, yeah. The media interest in this has been off the scale. We did 28 interviews on Friday. it got so large that BBC Central took over. We just want to get people making stuff, whether it's air-fixed, tanks, boats, trains. We just want to get people off their screens and making things.
And in terms of building things, these guys have certainly made something unlike anything else. The sheer sense of scale of this layout really has to be seen to be believed. And to see trains hurtling past at a scale, high speed, and not looking like they're immediately about to run out of room is just magical.
So of course, the most exciting thing is the now world record for the longest portable railway in the world. Actually, I can't see the other end. And it's all controlled on these fancy tablets. So to get a train moving, you just tap on this thing and it goes orange and a train moves. Now, normally the way they operate this is that you have it in sections because you can't physically see it. Because I'm special and they don't trust me to be able to communicate with people, they've just walk with it. So off we go. So I've got a pair of 86s here, and I'm about to drive the longest portable railway in the world.
And I know what you're all probably thinking. You're probably thinking that I had a minder with me watching my every move to make sure I didn't muck up on this very big and prestigious layout, or perhaps they turned everything else off so I couldn't cause any issues. Nope, not at all. I was given a tablet, told how to drive a train, and set off on my own. Whilst there was other things running on the network as well. Most of the freight trains that were running on the layout had a notable rear wagon, which marked the end of the train. Now, this is an important piece of information to hold on to.
What would be kind of impressive is just a layout of this length. You'd be like, yeah, this is good length, but I've got a proper train on. And now it comes over here. It doesn't...
That derailed.
That derailed. And that's going to be the most awkward thing to try and... just gently, without breaking anything. I'd like to do a complete loop without something going wrong. We're okay. Now, generally, I really don't like electronic things. I like a dial that I twist and the train goes rather than this magic here. But actually, I will concede that for something like this, having the wireless capability, which is also complete black magic, that it's all controlled off a tablet, but I have no idea how it's related to the layout at all. So, control of this is simple. We have this slider here, and that's just however you want to slide it, it goes with it. So you've got a huge amount of control over it. It's now maybe not quite as much as having, say, a dial, because this has very little steps in it. You can barely tell. I also, if it's got all the things, I could turn sound on, another horn, I could turn my lights on, which I do have. And we're... I hadn't even realised I should be paying more attention to the train. The station looks amazing. Let's race, because we should overtake Steam, right?
Remember what I said about remembering what your last wagon was? I hadn't.
Things I've realised, I used to have a train. I'll just return this. Wow, the weight of this is actually quite... I feel water happy.
You just split your train in half as well.
There's definitely something there which caused it to... I think it's that track pin is quite high. So they say the amount of issues they had is definitely that track thing. That's they say the amount of issues they've had on the night getting this to work was quite. It's been stressful for them. The one thing they didn't tell me how I do on this is how I change direction.
Having worked out how to reverse, I coupled back onto my train. However,
So, of all the things that can go wrong when operating a layout like this, losing part of your train is a fairly big no-no. So I left 4 containers back in the station. Unfortunately, the person who noticed this was none other than Pete Waterman. So I've just been shouted at. My first ever interaction with Mr. Waterman is being shouted at for leaving my train behind. Just for future reference, it says 1 on the back, just so I don't lose this. Also, when I last looked that way, there was another train in the section which I was catching up on. I can drive trains, honest. This is about the closest I've ever felt on a model railway to actually driving a proper train. And that feels like there is some proper jeopardy and actual genuine fear of this going wrong. I did at least notice that time it had come off. Now, earlier I commented how I'd gone through a red signal. I now believe that red signal was actually doing something because I've stopped having made issues. However, as a good locomotive driver, I did at least notice before I ploughed into it. Like, I wonder where that train was that was in front of me. There, that's fine, rather than ploughing straight through here.
Where it is, it's just the other side of that red signal you've gone through.
Yeah. So I've learned things. I've learned that signals should be obeyed on this railway.
You have actually spadded.
I've had a slip freight derailed in front of Pete Waterman driving. There's like real jeopardy on this because I don't know the operation, because it's a proper length train on a actual proper length layout, like huge. The jeopardy and the stress is real, and this is quite stressful. And also what's more stressful, I've got no idea who's meant to be operating that train. I mean, and most annoyingly is I want to do another loop because that was really good, but I don't know who I talk to. At this point I should stop at the signal, which is back there, and phone the signal box rather than just ploughing straight through the signal.
You have a very long walk ahead of you.
Well, actually you do. When you just look that way and just look at the sheer scale of this. It is unlike anything else I've ever come across.
You actually can't make out the other end.
I can't see the other end. Like, we thought when we operated our module a couple of weeks ago that was big, when you could just about make out the train at the far end. This is a whole different level.
and whilst I had a long walk to find somebody who would let me know if I had permission to move the train in my way, trains continue to run in the opposite direction.
So something I've learned, bearing in mind this is digital, is I can move the train that's in the way. Well, this is much more entertaining with sound, and then I probably should get my train that's stuck in the middle of the section out.
Oh, is that you waiting to come down with
Yes, I came trundling round and suddenly went, oh, there's a train there. There we go. I can press that. Then I need my 86s, which are a pair of 86s, press that. Theoretically, the light should come on, and theoretically I should now have figured out digital.
And under the watchful eye of Pete Waterman, it all went wrong.
It's going to come back for your train.
I've pressed the stop button. Let's try that again. Wow. weight behind that,
And the rest of it.
the weight here of it as it comes on the curve is actually. I mean, that's that one before. That one is unwilling.
Yeah.
Oh, for the love of. Oh, and it's on kill. Right, that's that.
Turn your locos off.
No, it's fine. I'm just getting the train down first, and then I'll come pick them up once the train's down. It stops. It just keeps popping off on this section. No, hold on.
Stop before you rear end the train.
Yeah,
in front
that's
of you
probably- that's
that you've parked.
This hasn't been the smoothest introduction to operating a layout, meeting Mr. Waterman, or being part of this very prestigious world record attempt. I might not be allowed back.
To try and sort out my mess, I did some more shunting.
You should probably stop before you hit the next train again.
Well, what I'm thinking is if I just move that one up slightly and dump it somewhere there, then I can stop it by pressing stop. Then I can go back and move this one up, and then I can walk to that end of the layout and, just try to steal something else for a run. Also, in all seriousness, you should feel the weight on that drawbar. It is a significant dump. Like, that is tonnage there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, many.
And with my limited amount of shunting complete and lots going on elsewhere on the layout, I went to look for another train. Meanwhile, I'd taken control of a new, untested train.
Look at the sheer tension going through that. They're pulling the couplings. Oh, and Acadies just speaks we can. So apparently, they've not tested this locomotive on this train. This is all brand new. So I'm now a guinea pig. Now, what very usefully this one has is a bright yellow wagon at the end. So hopefully we won't have the same issues as before when I lose a train.
When you couldn't see your bright pink wagon at the end.
Look, I wasn't expecting to lose a train. Right, this time we're going to ask for... What I really like about it is it's got speed, what we should be doing. So currently we're doing 72 kph. And I've got lots of features on this, but I am absolutely terrified of touching any of them. This is both an incredible experience and utterly terrifying. It's one of those things that I do a lot of this, that at the time, not actually that enjoyable. Afterwards, looking back, I'm sure I think this was amazing, but right now, getting sweaty palms over it. Genuinely terrified. More so, like it was terrifying the first time. Now I know how it's meant to work. Is there a train in front of me? No, everything's fine. There's a coupling there. Now this may explain why I lost a train, because apparently these trains that they're running, because they're full length and they've got weight in them to keep them on, they're actually really heavy. Apparently they're just pulling NEM sockets out. So they're just having to repeatedly glue stuff in to hold it in place. I wish to go full power, because...
Do you have space for full power?
If Mr. Clarkson has taught me anything, speed equals lightness, and if it's light, it won't come off. Well, wait, no, I need weight to stay on the track.
Power.
Is it a really bad idea to give the guy who doesn't understand DCC a very DCC controller?
This is quite a simple controller.
I've pressed buttons.
Yeah, well, the thing is here, it's simple. You've got the picture and the number of your locomotive, which is correct to the locomotive, and a very simple touchscreen setup.
It's
As opposed to
confusing.
when you use my one, where you have to memorise the number that you've set it to, because you've not set it to the right thing.
Yes, but with yours, there's no real jeopardy. A, you're not Pete Waterman, and B, if it goes wrong with yours, it normally doesn't matter too much. There's a lot more riding on this.
I'll note this next time you touch my layout.
There's a train there in front of me. Oh, he's fine, he's on the other railway, that's cool. Also, I noticed that this one's got the realistic braking thing going on.
Yeah, so you need to be paying attention.
Yeah, so this one doesn't stop when I ask it to, because it then realistically brakes on the loco. So I just saw the train in front of me and was like, oh no. Stress is real, stress is real. So what you'll notice around me is lots of people wearing coloured vests. And the coloured vest ties into what controller you're using. Now, that means that me, not wearing a vest, throwing everybody out. Right, the line is clear, that means we can go power. This is amazing! There's literally nothing I can talk to you. You were watching whatever that was, wasn't it? That made a noise as it went through. There's literally nothing I can compare this to. Like, there is no other experience I've ever done of model railways that feels anything like this. It's just a completely new experience. Like the scale of it, it's the closest you'll ever get to driving a train on a model railway. So I think that's part of what it is. It isn't. This has gone beyond being a model railway. This is a railway. It's just a small railway. This is no longer a model railway. This is now railway. Just look at this. Is like sometimes you have to like suspend disbelief when doing model railway stuff to kind of go, oh yeah. But this, I genuinely feel like I'm in a high-rise building overlooking the railway. There's nothing there, that's fine, I can deal with that. Look at the couplings there, look how taut they are. This place in here last time I had issues. I'd love to make a circuit without a problem. Also, with losing trains, I have genuine concerns going into tunnels. Still got the yellow, that's cool. And it's come through the other. Now, the other thing I got taught by Mr. Waterman was it goes uphill here at this next section, and then it comes down there. So in order to get through, you've got to take a run up. So I've got to make sure everything's clear.
Discussion this morning, yeah.
That's cool. It is not, because... So what I've learned is it's not because the 86 is there. Now I have an issue, because I need to keep the power on to legitimately get it up the incline here, otherwise it won't get up. But I also need to work out how to stop it as it comes down the ridiculously steep bit here. Oh dear. Look at that, I can't get over the scale of that. Like, looking down there and seeing the size of it is just absolutely... It's ridiculous. It's amazing, but it's ridiculous. I may have slowed down a bit too much. Oh no. What we've learned is the 37 is not powerful enough to run this service on its own. But that's fine, that's why I'm doing this as a test. Is we have learnt that maybe whoever built this consist didn't quite realise...
There's the sheer weight.
Yeah, the problem is, of course, is when it goes around there, I can't interfere with it anymore. Absolutely everything, please. Right, apparently to my controller, this is 100 kph, and it's not.
The wheels are doing that.
Oh, stop. Not managed a single loop. Try it.
And guess who was watching?
Yes, what I've done is I have a locomotive that is unable to run this particular service.
Driver error on that car.
I've been given a train that is unable to make the service that it wants to make.
Beans coming up that hill.
I did not have enough beans, and it has.
You need beans coming up that.
Well, I literally said I need to have beans coming up this hill to get up it, and it has. That weight there is unreal.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a load up there.
Stop.
As you can see from the sweat glistening off my forehead, I was now in a complete panic. My train would either not move, or once I gave it a little push to get it into motion, would derail on the point.
It just takes a lot of getting used to the size of it. Like that way goes way.
Being watched by Pete was not making this any easier. I'd have been stressed regardless, but with him looking down disapprovingly, I was feeling it.
Please, train. Please. Oh no.
Yeah, I like that one when it splits off.
Look at the sweat. Genuine fear. Why does it go wrong when he's watching? Oh, for the love of all things that are holy.
Why do you pick the worst places to do it?
Because it derails in the worst places. Mr. Waterman said to take a run up. I didn't. Charles, can you just watch the back of the train, please?
I'm watching the back of the train.
Look at the stress. Why has that stopped? What's derailed? It has derailed many times.
Many times.
Many times. It does not like this section at all.
The thing is not to go too slow through here. Keep the momentum on the side.
Yes, that's what I've been told. I didn't want to go too fast because there's a train sat just in the fiddle yard there. So
We should move stuff right down.
It's there, so I'll slow right down so I can stop.
Oh, you're driving responsibly. You're just giving yourself a challenge in the process.
No, I have already mucked up.
it's been like every other
Remember, you're on camera.
every other wagon has come off on that
I can see
section.
you sweating.
Yeah, it's genuine fear.
All I wanted was not to royally muck it up.
And instead you've done it right in front of the Pete Waterman.
And it has royally mucked up in front of... So my two interactions now with Pete Waterman
Have been complete failures.
have been failing to do anything. Oh, for Pete's sake.
Multi-track drifting, I see.
I don't like this train.
Oh, that's why, because you've also...
Oh, this train. Let me just... Shall we just roll it down so we can get to it? This train is horrendous. If I'm being marked on this or, examined, I have failed.
Well, you would have failed before you even got given the controller for the second time.
Oh, yeah.
That time they took it off you to show you how to use it, they wouldn't have given it back.
Oh, yeah, you remember the train in section incident. But to be fair, not just me having issues. There is a train there that's also having issues. Genuine fear.
Don't cry too much. Only a model train in front of Pete Waterman on the record-breaking layout.
I was really hoping it was going to be a nice meeting. I could talk about, heritage and YouTube and what I'm doing, and you might be interested. That's what I was hoping was going to happen.
Hello, Mr. Waterman. Oh, you're the guy that royally messed it up.
Yeah, well, I was hoping, I was dreaming maybe, oh, I know what you do. You do train stuff. And be like, oh, yes. But no. Instead, it's just, who is this absolute monkey?
You've lost your train.
That's going to haunt me forever. So, I have caused such issues that they are legitimately taking the controller off me. We're moving the wrong trains.
You've lost half your train.
That's fine. So what's meant to happen is when you bring a train in, it's then meant to be shuttered up to that end, ready to go.
You just took one left.
Trains are at least going, so
running.
yeah.
Yes, one of them is totally in the fiddle yard.
With my head hanging low from being a complete failure at a model locomotive driver, I made my way away from the world record-holding model railway, feeling a little bit silly.
I leave in utter disgrace.
So the only thing to do was watch the experts in operation.
Might give me an excuse to get handle it as well. Yeah, the twist is on the loaded. This is the weakness of any end.
Raining. It had stopped raining when I popped out earlier. I just nipped out there at lunchtime just to get some fresh air. Alright, it's just damp. It's just damp.
This truly was something really impressive, the likes of which I have never seen before, and I was so honoured that I got to have a go driving it, no matter the chaos I caused. And even after embarrassing myself, I was able to catch Mr. Waterman for a few words.
In 1953 I went to a show, and it was a movement that totally fascinated me, and it's kept me for all my life. And so the last few years in model railway shows, I've watched it quality's gone up, but the running has gone down because everybody's too precious about moving the scale speeds. And so I wanted movement so that kids could look at it and go, that's fantastic. And we went to this length because we wanted to highlight the fact that with technology you can do anything you want.
Oh yeah, because those tablets are amazing.
Yeah.
They're like how easy it is to swap over between trains.
Yeah.
And the sheer complexity of everything happening is amazing.
Yeah.
So are you proud of it?
I'm proud of the lads that built it, yeah. I mean, it's a team effort. I didn't build, I'm only the ideas and the planner and do the scenery, but it's the operators that make it work, and the hours that they put in.
Oh, I hate to think.
Yeah, I mean, the last at least 2 months we've been working 5 days a week.
I'm sure.
To achieve this,
We did a small modular for Statfold. I think 9 of us took part, again, building it all independently, so it came together first time at the show.
Yeah.
And the stress of that and the amount of hours we put into just doing 9 modules compared to what you've done.
Yeah.
But this goes beyond being a model railway. This is a proper railway. Like the sheer scale of it.
So about 20 years ago, when the internet first started, I started watching videos and YouTubers in Europe.
Oh yeah.
And their layouts to me were far superior to what we do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I thought my ambition is to do what the Continentals are doing with model railways. The attention to detail, the way they landscaped it was so different from what we did at that point. So that's what really started this. It was like, let's have a look at the way that Europe does it.
So has it really been an idea kind of running that long?
Yeah, long time. So it was, when we built Making Tracks 1 for the Cathedral, it was based on watching YouTube, particularly say in Europe, and Germany and France, and going, they've got it right, we've got it wrong.
Oh, it's really stressful. Not just talking to Pete Waterman. Also, genuinely really lovely bloke. Like, it's really nice when you meet these names in it. I've had it with Sir William McAlpine and now Pete Waterman. When you meet these heavyweights in this world who turn out to be just really nice people who just really like the hobby.
Moving away from making tracks, there were plenty of things to look at, including full-size vehicles like this Class 37 and some armoured tracked vehicles, which are pretty cool because this was more than just a model railway show. This was a model vehicle show with all sorts from airfix, planes to radio-controlled cars, which frankly meant it was a show entirely up my street, and I can't wait for the next one because this is very much a must visit on my calendar. Of course, with all of that said, there were a great variety of model railways, ranging from Making Tracks massiveness to Fordon Hill, this tiny N-gauge layout showing just how much you can squeeze into a tiny space with 2 loops and 2 platforms, and so much going on you don't know where to look. There was also Scarlington in 00 gauge with a hugely impressive bridge going over a river, and most excitingly, a working funicular railway. Dropping down to N-gauge was Kinlochlochen, based on a rural station somewhere in Scotland. It was wonderfully timeless, being able to run trains from the 1960s up to the present day.
Maybe I tell them I'm sick, and then if they find out that I'm not actually ill, I say, no, I'm sick, as in I'm sick. I was just telling them how good I am at weathering things.
Moving back up to 00 gauge was Dagnall End, a fictitious station on the Hounslow Loop in southwest London in the final years of Southern Region Steam. All the buildings are scratch built, with many based on London prototypes, so the amount of work and time that's gone into this is phenomenal. One of my favourite layouts in attendance was this one, modelling China in 2001, which took me straight back to my own adventures out there, videos which one day will see the light on the channel. This one, I just sat and watched and was taken back in time, and as such, completely forgot to film anything more than this. but it was just magnificent with so much going on and just capturing up that feeling of the end of Chinese steam. But before I could go and see the rest of the amazing models in attendance, there are a couple of people who I wanted to go and see first.
So as many of you are probably aware, recently me and Charles got scanned and turned into miniatures. So we're here to have a look and see if they've got any of them left, because I fancy buying one of me in 00.
Still there.
1, 2.
You've sold out in 00.
So we've officially managed to sell out.
Don't make promises.
This is the LMM crew pack. It is no longer available. So you lot have bought all of me and Charles. There is, I believe, over there somewhere. There we are.
When you get back to office.
They've got 2 of these.
There are 2 O gauge of us remaining.
But bearing in mind the other stuff is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 thick. There are 2 of those. And these is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 thick. Turns out we're popular, so thank you for buying lots of me and Charles.
From there, we went to see Dan of Tunnel Lane Model Railways, who you'll remember from a previous episode painted the models of me and Charles, and we are really excited to see on his stand a new pair of the exclusive figures produced for the Foxfield Railway. And remember, you can win these figures by using the AR link and posting your pictures on social media with the hashtag LMMClones. And with that, we'll go look at some layouts. Staying in the same scale as the miniature Lawrie Charles was Grindley Brook, an O-gauge fine scale layout based on a fictional station set somewhere on the LNWR between Whitchurch and Chester in Shropshire, somewhere between 1954 and 1964. The whole scenic area is scratch-built from photographs and plans using actual LNWR buildings, signals and infrastructure, and features hand-built track to a particularly fine standard. And it was stunning, with a wide variety of rolling stock trundling past. There was plenty to keep the onlooker amused.
I'm surprised. No, you're right. I shouldn't I? I also like that. Nicely added some declining about as well.
Dropping down a scale to 00 was Northbridge, a fictitious heritage railway loosely based on the Severn Valley Railway's Bridgnorth station, situated in the Dalton Valley somewhere on the English-Welsh border. It featured DCC control and several sound-fitted locomotives for their extra immersion. And like we did with our modular railway, being set in the present day means they can run whatever they want with whatever they want. Meanwhile, I'd found the Helgen stand and fallen in love. It's mine! This was the first time that I'd seen the engineering sample of the Ruston 48 made from measurements of my own 1:1 scale locomotive. And frankly, I thought the thing was absolutely gorgeous. It is the smallest ready-to-run locomotive in O gauge.
Just for scale, there's your O gauge locomotive next to a 00 locomotive.
It's not that much bigger, is it?
And whilst Charles eyed up some of the other goodies that Helgen were producing, I went and had a chat with the guys on the stand who asked if I wanted to have a closer look at the model made from my locomotive.
So, legitimately taking this home. No joke, this is coming home with me.
Having been physically prized off the Helgen stand, the guys on the Muffcombe layout, who evidently hadn't heard of the chaos I'd caused on making tracks, asked if I fancied a go.
Thanks. And I'm stopping the platform, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Just stop at the signal. But if it doesn't fit, we'll just let you go non-stop.
So, try not to do a spad, because I see the road's not set for me. Was scared.
So
I didn't cause disasters.
We'll bring the other train in.
A signal. When did that happen? Now, there is one issue I have with this, is that when he gets over there, it disappears beyond where I can see.
Yeah, so he'll either tell you, or you'll see it just stop. And
when it stops.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the end. Oh, I can see over the top there. I did not ask that to stop. Do I need to get this ready?
Yeah. So we'll just use this.
Do we care which way around the prairie is?
No, it doesn't matter much.
Speak, we're going like this. I have not. Is this the part of the B set?
Yes, that is.
Excellent. I see no problems with this. I've got everything else ready. Apart from that, which is not on the rails. Right.
And the other one will pull in, and then you'll get the go-ahead to go.
Oh, I see. There's a train there. That was a mad panic there of, oh God, it's not ready. We had this on our modular. We're like, no trains are ready to leave. We should have done this.
And then what we try and do is stop in line with the water tower.
Oh, to make sense that he's got to stay water.
Also, it's
There's a really nice little layout.
There we go.
I'll be honest, it's a lot less stress than driving the big one over there.
And off we go. Off we go. It does help if you put it into the direction you need to travel in.
Yeah, that is what happens a lot with this. You sort of forget and you ask why is it.
We did it a lot on the other layout. I'm not going to spad, I'm not going to spad, I'm not going to spad.
Having had a great time running trains, my afternoon was rapidly disappearing, so it was time to move on. But I didn't get very far, being immediately drawn to the lucky dip on the Oxford diecast stand.
Oh, I thought it had a steamroller in it, because it had this.
Charles, if you want one, do you want one, Charles?
Yeah, sure. The problem with paying for this, though, is I'm filming you.
Oh, I don't want the truck.
Well, camera's been handed off.
Eventually, having peeked through the top of many different bags and tried to work out what might be within, me and Charles settled on a couple of bags and went off to pay. Something a little bit different was this layout, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of, in 16mm, modelling a typical slate quarry somewhere in the hills of Snowdonia, in the period between the 1950s up to the 1970s, a time where the quarries were buzzing to the sounds of little locomotives scurrying about, shifting the newly quarried rock from the mills. All the locomotives are controlled using radio control and carry their batteries on board, meaning the track isn't actually powered.
I haven't seen the turntable move. It's like one of the trucks fell off the rails and landed there. There's
Offering kids the chance to get involved in half a drive of something in the new TT 120 gauge was 12mm bridge, showing some of the things which are achievable in this new scale. And as we wandered back past Model U, we are in time to see the final O-gauge pair of Lawrie and Charles's being sold.
We have success out of everything. Check out everything on these. There are 2 models out of everything that is sold out. And it's me and him that have sold out. We're sold out in O, they're all gone, and we're sold out in double O. There's literally nothing. Well, they've launched their RAF range. So the brand new RAF range, hence the guys in costume over here. They haven't sold out of any of the RAF stuff, but us.
The last layout that I got to have a look at before the show closed was Alibi. It depicts a fictional heart of the railway system in northern Cumbria between 1985 and 1992. It is arranged in a U format and has 2 fiddle yards, one hidden behind the scenic area and a much larger one towards the back of the layout, linked by a double-track main line for longer trains and then a shunting yard up front. With locomotives moving about the layout and constant shunting, there was always something going on, and this was a joy to watch.
So, the most important thing about today is I've acquired a exclusive Rails model.
It's a Class 02.
It could be a Class 02, it could be the Bobo electric loco, or hidden amongst all of this, there is a Ruston 48.
Just want to point out here, this is the 48 in O gauge.
Yes, it is O. So when I said I'm taking it home, I legitimately meant I'm taking it home. And this isn't one of these funny skits we do at the end of the show where I walk up and get chased. This is legitimately coming home with me. So check out the video coming soon as we try out the Ruston 48 and see just what it's like. And so that is the end of the show, and there are security guards there and there telling us to come and go home. So with that, it's time to go home. It has been an absolutely amazing show. For a first time running an event like this, incredible. Not just model railways, all sorts of stuff. Now, I haven't seen all of it, haven't even seen all the model railways, and I look forward to this happening again so I can come look at more stuff. Now if you have enjoyed this, how about looking at the Statfold show there or some other show down there? And with that, I'm going to go home and give this a test.